Fueled by C4, Cellucor, and Extend. Use the code Clydesdale to get 20% off at checkout at c4energy.com. On Clydesdale Media, where we bring you the widest array of content here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifier so you're the first to know when new episodes are available. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media weight loss journey, fitness extravaganza, all that stuff. I'm Scott Schweitzer. I'm the Clydesdale. She's Cheryl Nasso. She's my nutrition coach. This is our weekly check-in. We do it live on the air. Here we go.
Let's rock it. Happy Thanksgiving early.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was your I'm just grabbing a pen for notes. How was your Thanksgiving with mom?
It was really laid back. She was tired from a long week.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of relaxed, and then my wife was asking questions about like where she grew up and where we kind of did things when I was a kid. And my mom's whole family lived on like one street.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up like 5 miles from there. So we drove to that one street and my mom gave us the tour of everything. And I was adding in, like, when I was a kid, this is where we'd go. This is what we do here. This is where we skateboard. This is where we climb a hill.
Awesome. Reminiscing about the good old days.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. How is the weather?
Cold.
Yeah. Is it getting pretty chilly up there?
So, like, my mom lives in the foothills of the Appalachians, so it gets colder there earlier than like in Columbus
Yeah.
So it was down in the 30s for most of the weekend.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's been nice here right now, so I'm not gonna, I know you're like, hey, sure, let's talk about Wadapalooza, because I'm gonna get you to come down here, get yourself out of that winter, for the Wadapalooza. I was actually listening to Dave Castro's weekend review, and it was interesting that he brought up the Wadapalooza as part of his Triple Crown. But
I have been saying for 2 years they should do a Triple Crown, and Dave even said in his weekend review, like, a lot of people have been talking about it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad. I wish they would have announced it before it started.
Yeah, I'm sure that Dubai might feel a little bit left out because he mentioned them but didn't include them. So, but anyways, back to your weight loss journey. So I didn't see much food tracking this week. Has it just been kind of like lack of motivation, busy? What's going on?
I mean, when I was home, I didn't track.
Okay, when you're with your mom. Okay, so you were there all weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I got back Sunday night, and I logged everything Sunday. I logged everything yesterday, logged everything today.
Okay, so it might just be a lag then. Yeah, so I said Sunday, Monday. Okay. So yeah, so you didn't track from last Wednesday through Saturday. So when did you leave that early?
I left Thursday.
Okay. All right. But nutrition, aside from tracking, was pretty consistent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, just obviously mom being out of sorts. Weight update yet or not yet?
So it's good. And like I told you, I put it on a whiteboard by my scale, and then when I'm there with my phone, I put them all in. I just haven't put them in yet. And I didn't weigh when I was in Pennsylvania.
Right.
So, but when I got back, I was under 290.
Hell yeah. After Thanksgiving dinner, weighing in less.
289.4.
Awesome. Make sure you update that for me. That's awesome. 289.4 going into Thanksgiving week. Well, actually, after you've already had a Thanksgiving dinner. That's awesome. Congrats, man. And that's like, honestly, what's so funny is I was just talking to a client, somebody that's looking to sign up for coaching. And she's like, I feel like the only way I can do this is if I continue to track my food. I'm like, then you're not tracking your food right. And you're the perfect example of that. Is like, if you absolutely have to track your food to maintain your weight, then there's a problem. You're actually making like changes into how you put food on your plate and what you eat. And that's why food tracking, as much as it's where we're going to get the fastest results, I know you're most dialed in when that's the case, but like taking a couple days off and not tracking, you're still eating pretty much the same things. So good shit.
Yeah, I've I did like kind of have I don't not an epiphany, just kind of a like I don't feel like I'm getting enough like leafy green vegetables.
Mhm.
And so just for like this week, I'm trying to eat a salad a day.
Well, and it's funny that you say that because part of the reason why I want you to track your food is for that kinds of stuff. I'm a big believer, like, so fiber. I know for a while we were talking about fiber. I kind of backed off a lot of that stuff because when it comes down to nutrition coaching, you got to know where a person's at and what matters most for that person. So it's like if I'm like, "Hey, Scott, I want you to like get your fiber and make sure that you're not eating after this time, or make sure you're getting your protein or hitting your carbs or eating." If I'm giving you too many things, it's like it's overwhelming, and like it starts with number one, and you're actually putting the pieces together yourself, and I would agree. You definitely like a big thing for me is you should have vegetables at lunch and dinner. You should have a serving of vegetables at lunch and dinner. And a serving should not be like a couple of sprigs of broccoli. Like half your plate should be vegetables. I think that's just like a general rule of thumb. Um, and
And I love vegetables. Like I
yeah,
love them. My wife, that's where I get caught up.
yeah,
Is she's not a big fan of them. She likes like a couple,
yeah,
like broccoli, cauliflower, carrots maybe, and
yeah,
that's about it. So I'm trying to take it upon myself to make sure I make a salad for myself at least once a day,
yep,
and then have like some of the other stuff. Because at lunch I can make my own. I can make Brussels sprouts or asparagus or whatever I'm in the mood for, and I'm cool with that.
yep. I think that what helps too is like if you like eggs in the morning are such a great way to like throw vegetables into. Like if you're somebody that like so I typically work out in the afternoon, so I try not to eat a lot of vegetables at lunchtime, but I make sure that my breakfast and my dinner have tons of vegetables. That's kind of how I do things that way too. If you are somebody that works out midday and doesn't like that sit in your stomach, or just eating them after you work out, which is typically what you probably would do. But yeah, I mean, and the other thing is like just keep some frozen bagged vegetables in your freezer. This way, if your wife doesn't make a vegetable at dinner, you can always just throw one in the microwave, throw it in the oven, whatever. It takes, 5 minutes, and then you have got something to have on the side. But I do like that goal for you because I do want to start pushing more towards the fiber and stuff like that. I think that that's also very helpful for some of the other stuff that you had going on, that we are kind of addressing with wild health and all that kinds of stuff. So like that's why like I love the weight loss as the goal, but also there's so many other things that have to be kind of addressed along the way as well. So love that goal for you. So you're committing to a salad a day?
Yep.
I like that. I have a salad a day too. And it's cool because there's so many different things you can do with salads. Like, you know, I like people to think about the cool thing about salads is that you can take what you would typically order at a restaurant and make a salad variety of it. And this is where like I'm not the kind of person that wants people thinking that cauliflower rice replaces rice or like zucchini noodles replace pasta because they're never going to taste the same. But if that is a more creative way for you to eat a vegetable, then by all means do it, right? Like if it tastes better for you to spiralize your zucchini, throw some marinara sauce on it and some ground beef, no, that's not spaghetti, but it might be a more creative way to have and enjoy zucchini. And I like that for people. So, yeah.
So, couple questions. Kenneth says avocados count as a vegetable. I
It's
would
actually
say
a
no.
fruit. An avocado is actually a fruit. Did you know that? But it's actually a fat. So there's more fat in avocado than anything. So I would not consider that a vegetable.
As
I,
always, Judy is the leader,
yeah,
and I'm just a follower.
yeah.
Um, she's the best.
I definitely eat a salad a day, sometimes two. I love, like I said, I like to take, like typical things. And I guess for me, I eat culturally when I think about like different types of foods. Like I might have like a Spanish style salad where I'll take like salsa and ground beef and, maybe some black beans and corn and make like almost like a Mexican style, Spanish style salad, or like an Italian style salad with a light balsamic and some tomatoes and pepperoncinis. You can make different types of salads based on, what you want to have. It doesn't have to be just lettuce and cucumber, so although sometimes that's fine too. But yeah.
Damien says logging mom's food can be a challenging guesswork.
Yeah.
Actually, and I don't know if you probably haven't followed along as long as we've been here, Damien. My mom has lost like 140 pounds. My mom is dialed in on nutrition. So when I go to her house, it's not like it was 20 years ago when we got all the like audacious foods and
Yep.
all that kind of stuff. My mom is really good about like chicken salads, always having a vegetable with dinner. Like when I go there, it's actually easier for me than it is when I'm home.
Yep. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so update on squats. How'd that go?
So I did bring Sally up.
Yep, I heard that.
I did that. And then I traveled and I just didn't get to the other two.
Okay.
But I did lose a bet and I have to do death by squats
Okay.
as my payoff.
That was actually one of the ones I was going to program this week for you anyways.
Well, there we go.
So, how do you feel about doing it with an empty barbell?
What?
An empty barbell.
I heard what you said.
A 45-pound barbell.
I mean, sure. It'll end quicker.
The reason why is, well, now if the bed is air squats, it's fine. It's going to make air squats feel better. That's why I was saying it. But
yeah, I can do it with a barbell.
it's just an empty 45-pound bar on your back.
I lost the bet to Jamie. I'll ask her if she's cool with it.
If not, then just do air squats. But that was one of the workouts I was going to program for you this week. And believe it or not, CrossFit.com put out a workout. I'm like, that's going on Scott's list this week. I'm going to modify it for you. I'm not sure if you saw it or not.
I didn't.
But I'm like, this is the perfect workout for your goals right now. So we'll do the death by and we'll do this one, the other one that I programmed, and that should be enough because you can also make up one from last week if you need to. And the goal really is that whenever we're focusing on a goal, whether it's push-ups or squats, you should be feeling like, oh my God, squats. Oh my God, my legs. You want to almost overload the system a little bit, and then it's going to make the squats feel that much. That's why I'm like, hey, how do you feel about the 45-pound barbell? It's going to go faster, but.
Yeah, and you're right. Like bring Sally up. I've done with like a kettlebell, like a goblet squat. And it's easier because it helps you like sit into that comfortable squat position, where when you're just air squatting it, there's a lot more balance involved.
Yeah, that's a good point too. All right. What are you doing for this Thanksgiving? Do you have any plans?
So my daughter's coming home for Thanksgiving. We are having Thanksgiving dinner, but I'm cooking, and I told my wife, like, we're not making a bunch of anything. It's whatever my daughter wants, we'll make for her, but we're making it in small batches.
Yeah.
So when it's like that night, we're done.
Yeah, I gotcha. What are some of your traditional things to cook?
So my daughter likes ham, so I'll cook a ham, and then green bean casserole, mashed potatoes, stuffing, all the other traditional stuff.
No turkey?
No, my family does not like turkey.
That's funny. I
don't like turkey either.
Yeah.
Done the way like a Thanksgiving turkey is done.
Right.
Just way too dry for me.
Agreed. So it's funny you mentioned that because I'm doing a little bit differently this year too. My family, what I find is everybody eats the breast meat and nothing else. And typically when you're cooking a turkey, the problem is the breast dries out because the thighs and stuff don't cook. So rather than buying a turkey, I bought 2 large turkey breasts, but I also bought turkey legs because my brother does like turkey legs. So I bought a couple of turkey legs, but I'm going to actually just roast 2 breasts instead because that's what my family likes anyways. And this way I can keep it from drying out. So that's what I'm doing for my turkey dinner. So yeah.
Yeah. My nephew is trying to figure out how to smoke a turkey breast without, and he got it where it's still moist, but it was too salty. So he's got to figure out the brine better.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotcha. That's funny. What about desserts? Are you guys big on dessert on Thanksgiving?
I'm not making anything.
No? No pies?
We don't make that now. My daughter and her boyfriend are going to her boyfriend's house first.
Okay.
Last year they brought a pie with them, but I'm just not a sweets guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if they bring it, fine. If not,
Yeah.
I'm cool.
I'm making a cheesecake and an apple pie. So I'll have 2 options. That's what I'm doing. I'm going for the apple pie. That's what I really wanted. Every year, I think I told you my family always asks for black and white cookies, a traditional New York thing. And this year I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make a dessert that I actually want to enjoy. And so gonna make a Dutch apple pie and I'm gonna make a cheesecake. And I'll have some other things there too. I'm hosting, my family's coming over, my brother and his his girlfriend's mom and sisters comes as well. So I think the cool thing about today's episode is really like, well, I want to hear about your health stuff, but like it's so important for us to realize, and I thought about this today, food is definitely like fuel, right? Like we know that food is fuel and that we should be mostly looking to eat healthy and make sure that we're, obviously controlling calories and that we're eating the right types of things. But I think people really forget that food is so much more than fuel, right? Like, your daughter coming home and wanting a special cooked dinner, food is also memories and being able to enjoy a meal with your loved ones and not having stress and whether you guys are eating something healthy that your mom cooked because she eats healthy too, or you guys are sitting traditionally at a restaurant where you guys don't have healthy choices, that it really is sometimes about the experience. And I think that people don't ever really let themselves be fully present with those things, whether it's because they feel in a place of like out of control and like, oh my God, the food is so good. And they're not actually enjoying the food because they're like just stuffing themselves so full, or they're restricting themselves and feeling guilty about it and or eating the food and feeling guilty about it and already thinking about how they're going to have to make up for it. So just some things for people to be aware of and yourself as well. I think you've got a healthy relationship with food right now, but I think it's something that people don't think enough about is the other side of food that's not just food is what we eat to make us, healthy. There's other sides of it as well.
So ACR says, my mom and I will make 50-11 things, and then her and I will barely eat it because of tasting so much to make sure it tastes okay.
Yep.
And the key to that is you're spending time with mom.
Exactly. As I was just saying, memories. That's
Right.
really what it is. All that
Yeah.
time tasting.
Damien says today he found out rhubarb is a vegetable.
I've actually never had rhubarb. I don't even know what it would taste like. Have you ever had it?
I have, but when I was a kid and it wasn't my favorite thing. And so I never went back to the well.
It just looks
So
like
who knows?
celery, right?
Like it looks like a parsnip to me.
Yeah. I like
And I love parsnips.
me too. Oh man, I have this dish. You should try this. It's really good. Um, I use fresh beets, which is a pain in the butt, I know, to peel them. But beets, cubed up butternut squash, carrots, and parsnips, all in a roasting pan, a little bit of garlic, sea salt, olive oil, and nutmeg. And you roast them in the oven, and it's amazing. It's my favorite root vegetable dish. I used to make it all the time. You're coming over. Bruce is coming over. All right. You're going to bring the Batmobile, right? Because my nephew is definitely going to want to see that.
So,
yeah.
So that's what's cool about Thanksgiving. It's the memories.
For sure.
And like I've said, I think before this is like the first year my daughter has said, I don't want to go to Pennsylvania. That's not where I grew up. I want to have holidays where I grew up here in Columbus.
That's awesome.
And so we've like flipped to that new stage of life. And that's why we went home to see my mom, and Julie went to see her mom this past weekend, so that we could spend this weekend with her daughter.
Yeah. Any other plans coming up for the weekend besides just the Thanksgiving, or do you have anything else going on?
No, I think like we'll probably start decorating for Christmas.
Yeah.
Because my daughter and her boyfriend are staying the whole weekend, and they want to help us like bring everything up out of the basement and kind of get it all set up. So
Cool. And then you have a couple of weeks now until heading to Arizona. So I feel like we can put a good dent in things. I mean, progress right now is looking pretty good.
Yeah,
So how are you?
we've been getting this thing up lately.
Yeah, I mean, right now I feel like we're smooth sailing.
We're like a hailstorm.
But I feel like, your nutrition's dialed in. I think that you're going to be the kind of person that's going to be you're going to enjoy your Thanksgiving and move on. Definitely want to make sure we keep up with the tracking because that's definitely going to be helpful for you. I know you mentioned you had a doctor's update today. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, so it's with my sinuses. I have been um still having some trouble with drainage, and I went to an allergist who said I wasn't allergic to anything. Yet every time like I'm in certain situations like with multiple dogs, raking the leaves, mowing the grass, like I fill up instantly. And so I said to my doctor to sign a surgeon, like, can you recommend me another allergist that is like more dependable? Cause I don't believe what they're saying.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I'm kind of like the next phase above an allergist. So let me do a full examination on you. And here it comes to be that I have this, it is an allergy, but it doesn't show up on a typical allergy test.
Hmm.
And so like if there's like strong colognes or grass pollens or leaf pollens or dog dander, it's small and microscopic. It gets into my nasal cavity and it irritates the lining of my nasal cavity and it inflames and then I get a ton of drainage. And he had like a name for it. I just don't remember what it was. So he is, he said he actually apologized for not seeing it sooner. And then he's giving me some prednisone drops. They're actually eye drops, but you can put them in your nose. And so I'm going to drop them into my nose as soon as the pharmacy fills it.
Hmm.
And then that should calm all that down. And then everything will be healed up and I should be able to move on with everything.
So what is the actual, obviously whenever we have allergies, right? Like you can't really control your environment. Like if you have food allergies, yeah, you can stay away from those foods. What is the actual, because obviously you can't avoid being around these situations. Is it something that you have to be on like long term, or what are the thoughts there?
So it's going to be more the inhaler type stuff that's going to help me going forward. The typical allergy medicine doesn't help.
Hmm.
Um, so it's going to be like a combination of these drops that I can put in there or
Yeah.
albuterol and the typical inhalers for asthma,
Got it.
but I have to be more diligent with it.
Hmm. I just was curious about that. I'm going to actually look into some things on like histamines and everything like that, because I'm like a nerd about this kinds of stuff. I'm all about, in fact, I've been thinking about like long term. I've thought about like going back to school for like functional medicine, like down the road. Like, I don't know, but like I love looking at like lab work and all this kinds of stuff, or even just taking some courses in it for more education, because I definitely love going down those rabbit holes. But yeah, well, that's good. At least you're getting that figured out. And do you find that it's better in the winter time with it not being so like does the cold make it any better?
Not no, because like I still have dog dander in my house.
That's
I
true.
still have like dust and ventilation. I just have to be really diligent about cleaning all that stuff as
Yeah,
much as possible.
I
And
gotcha.
like my daughter bought us a robot vacuum. So like it goes around
Yeah.
every day. So like our house is swept every day to
Yeah.
get at least a good chunk of dog hair
Yeah.
and dander up. And then we do like a normal vacuum a couple times a week.
I gotcha. Yeah. Well, hopefully that will help out a little bit, because obviously the reason I'm asking is like you went through all that stuff, all those procedures. Like it would suck to have all that stuff come out and then now you figure out the problem. Now it's just going to keep coming back again, right? Like that's what would not be cool. That's why I was asking about it. All right. So goals this week, we're looking at salad and we're looking at finishing your squats. And honestly, just tracking. I think that will help me be able to help you more with optimizing nutrition a little bit so I can see things. In fact, I think people focus entirely too much on like, well, what should my macros be? Or should be like, just track your food. Like that's the first place to start. So you're doing a good job right now so far. So I think that it's really just a smooth sailing kind of a week for us, which is awesome.
Yeah. And Wad Zombie says robot vacuum and air purifier. I have one of those as well.
You know, the only thing I remember about the robot is when I lived up in New England, my roommate had one, and the thing was so annoying. Like I felt like I'd be sitting on the table and it would just be hitting me in my heels. Like, why are you trying to vacuum me up? Like it would just annoy me, but you know, whatever.
It comes with its annoyances.
Yeah. So I mean,
But
I'm sure it's great to have something just walk around your house and vacuum for you, but yeah, I got to mow my lawn, which I'm not looking forward to this week, but I'll get it done. So,
yeah, we call my air purifier Big Betty.
That's funny.
Because in our smart home, it's like hooked to everything, and you
Yeah,
have to name everything so you know what it is.
that's funny.
And so I just put stupid names on our stuff.
I guess, I mean, last thing checking, I'm just speaking of Big Betty, I don't know what made me think of this is, have you been going to the gym or have you still been working at home?
Yeah, I can't say I'm consistent at the gym, but I am going.
Yeah.
I just want to get more consistent, and I think I will be in the coming days, weeks.
Got it. Yeah. All right. Well, cool. I feel like you're in a good spot, man. I feel like the 289 has got to be super like motivating for you. So wonder what we can get to before the new year.
Like it just seems like yesterday that we were at 3 something, and now we're at 289. It's
I
huge.
know. I was like, that's why I was like, I wonder what his weight's at today. So, and I think even better is like, guys, I hope that everybody's hearing this, right? Like it's the holiday season and you're losing weight and you went and had a meal with your family and you're having another one this week. People need to stop worrying so much about enjoying their celebration meals and focus more on what they're doing outside of those things and being consistent with other things, because that's really where the magic happens. And that's why you're being successful.
And I'll say just real quick, because Judy asked this early, if I was an inspiration to my mom when she lost her weight. That's when I lost my weight the first time, and I lost like almost 250 pounds. She came along for the ride, and she has been able to keep it off way longer than me. That time, I was not balanced in life. I was not balanced about going to the gym. I was not balanced about my nutrition. I had no balance at all. It was all or nothing. And I almost lost my marriage over it. I almost lost my family over it because I was a total, like, super focused individual. And the way I'm doing it this time is much healthier for my overall state of mind and with my family. And it's just way better. And this is sustainable. Like, not fretting about Thanksgiving week and gaining a pound. It's just completely different, way more sustainable, way more balanced. And I'm much happier this time than I was going through it the first time.
That makes my freaking heart happy, because at the end of the day, that's what this is about, right? You should not have to lose. And you're not the only person that literally has almost lost a relationship over this kinds of stuff. Like, if people realize that you don't have to sacrifice your entire life and livelihood to lose weight, they would likely commit to it much faster and stay committed long enough to actually see it through. And you're right. Sustainability, like everything we're doing is not something that has really taken away from your life. In fact, it's only added to your productivity. It's made you a more organized person, like it's done things to benefit your life rather than making it a bad thing. So I love that. So I'm so happy that you shared that.
And I will say, like, it has come off slower this time. And once I got my head around it, that's okay. That's when I knew this was going to work. Once that clicked in, that it's okay. It's still coming off, not as fast as I did it the other time, but it's coming off. And I'm not depressed. I'm not, like, it's just a different thing for me.
And
it's hard to put into words because it gets emotional.
Agreed. it's making me emotional. And like thinking about from a physiological perspective, not that slow is the best way, because obviously mental, but like sustainably seeing progress in an effort in a way that produces effort is better for your body too. It's less shocking. You're more likely to sustain it long term. When you've been doing this for 3+ years, the likelihood of you undoing those habits is much less. And that's also a huge thing. So great freaking work. So
Judy. Yeah. I'm making salads, Judy. I'm sorry.
yeah. You guys are awesome. Definitely awesome. Well, cool. Well, I'm excited for you, Scott. Like this is going to be a good week. I'm excited for obviously what's to come the next month. I know we have the Legends coming up pretty soon, but I feel like you're going to do great there. I'm not even worried about that at all. So keep up the good work, dude.
And
I'm loving it.
speaking of Legends, quick teaser. Next Wednesday, the director of the Legends is going to be on the show at, I think, noon.
Awesome.
Noon next Wednesday. Have him booked. And they're going to do post wrap-up shows with us the whole week.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I believe, I shouldn't announce it yet, but I believe it's Joe, the event organizer, Scott Panchek, and myself doing live wrap-up shows every night.
That's awesome. That's going to be great. Legends. That's going to be awesome. Good shit, man. Cool.
So, yeah, check that out next Wednesday and hear all about Legends, their event this year, and that they will be the host of the Masters CrossFit Games in 2024.
That's exciting. That's really exciting for them.
So a little cross-promotional there.
For sure. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be awesome.
With that, I will catch everyone next time on, and thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. It's Thanksgiving week. I need to give you your kudos. You've been along the ride with me this whole time. Hell or high water. You've been there. Emotional, all the stuff. Love you to death. And I thank you for everything you've done to help me through this journey.
Dude, I'm so grateful for you. You have no idea. I still remember one of my first times connecting with you via Instagram and just like before we even worked together. And here we are. And we built a relationship, and I'm proud and happy to be a part of the ride. So, I remember having a conversation with you, and I just remember you speaking about a situation where you felt kind of like you were left in the dark and in a time where you're very vulnerable. And I remember getting emotional, being like, dude, you're not getting rid of me. You're stuck with me. Hell or high water, you are stuck with me. I don't care. We are going to work through every single problem. So I'm grateful for you as well.
Well, with that, thank you to the chat. You guys are freaking the best. Love your comments. You don't know what that does to get me through a week. Love your support, and couldn't do it without you. Thank you all, and we'll see you next time on the Clydesdale Media Weight Loss Journey. Bye, guys.